So a question that Natalie and I commonly get is, how much exercise is enough? And we hope to answer that question for you a little bit today. And so the first thing we're going to start with is aerobic exercise. You probably consider aerobic exercise as running, walking, any type of treadmill machine or any type of rowing machine or elliptical machine, but really all aerobic exercise is any exercise that you do a sustained amount of time that increases your heart rate and keeps it elevated. Okay? And so that could include many of our cardio machines. It could include using weights and doing them in kind of a circuit fashion. But what we want to do is give you an idea of how much you need to be doing on a weekly basis. And so the Center of Disease Control recommends that for moderate aerobic physical activity, you do around 150 minutes a week, which is about 30 minutes 5 times a week. What is moderate intensity, you might ask? Well, there's a couple different ways to monitor that. One way is to actually look at your heart rate, and we'll go in a little bit into how to monitor your heart rate in a moment. But with your heart rate, it really tells you how hard you're working at any given time, whether at rest and whether exercising. And so if you're going to work at a moderate intensity, you're going to want to work from within that range and keep within that range for 30 minutes 5 times a week, or you may want to do it where you do an hour one day, 30 minutes the next day, and an hour the next day. And just break it up that way. Another way you can do this is do more vigorous intensity exercise. And so vigorous intensity exercise would be only about 1.25 hours per week, which is about 15 minutes 5 days a week. Vigorous intensity exercise would be a little bit of the higher end of that range of the heart rate zone that we gave you. And really for this type of exercise intensity, you can't keep this up. It only can do about 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So if you don't want to monitor your heart rate, that's okay. We've also provided you with a rating of perceived exertion chart. And really with the moderate intensity exercise, which remember is 150 minutes, which is broken up over the week, so maybe about 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Moderate intensity exercise is working hard enough to where you could maybe talk about a sentence that you would not be able to carry on a conversation. It would just be too difficult because you're breathing hard enough to where a sentence is possible, but a conversation is not. Whereas vigorous intensity exercise is more of an intensity of exercise where you really can't carry on a conversation at all. You're working so hard to where you don't really know how long you can go. It's pretty challenging, and you know you're not going to be able to keep it up any longer than about 10 or 15 minutes. So those are the recommendations that we have for you and how much aerobic exercise you need on a week-to-week basis. So now we've talked about how much exercise you need when you're doing aerobic exercise. It's also important to know how do we build up to that point. Because I don't want you to go out and exercise 150 minutes on the treadmill tomorrow, because then you won't be able to move for about a week.
Too much paperwork.
Yeah, and too much paperwork for us, that's true. So what we recommend is that you gradually increase your intensity of the exercise and how much you're doing of the exercise over the course of 2 or 3 weeks. And so if you have not been exercising, I don't recommend you go to any machine longer than about 15 or 20 minutes to start out. So you may not reach your 150-minute goal per week of aerobic exercise that first 2 or 3 weeks, and that's absolutely okay.
What kind of pace should they have?
And remember, the aerobic exercise at moderate intensity pace should be something where you could carry on a conversation, but you wouldn't be able to speak a sentence.
You can call your friend and catch up with them.
But not a full conversation. Make sure you take breaths.
Right.
But with that, we want you to build up about 5 minutes every time you do it. So if you're going to come to the gym 3 times that week and do that cardio machine 3 times, you start off at 15 or 20 minutes. If you did okay with that last time, then build up about 5 minutes for the next time. And so what machine, you might ask? So remember, aerobic exercise is anything you do for a sustained period of time that increases your heart rate and keeps it elevated. And so we both have a few machines next door, but there are a couple favorites that we have. What's your favorite, Natalie?
My probably go-to is the Arc Trainer. So it's similar to an elliptical, and if you haven't tried it, it's the one where your knees kind of go up and down, and people a lot of times are scared to try it, but don't be. It is fun, okay? It's a fun one.
As fun as exercise can be.
Exercise is fun.
I actually have a lot of different favorites. I know Natalie will give me a hard time, but I like just about everything, including the VersaClimber, the Jacob's Ladder, the Stair Climber, the rowing machine. but I don't like doing them any longer than about 5 or 10 minutes.
If you see Dr. Watson doing cardio in the gym, do not try to do cardio because he will jump from machine to machine to machine. The good thing is, if you want that machine, he won't be there very long.
I won't push you off, but I will hover around very awkwardly for around 5 or 10 minutes until you get off. So, but all kidding aside, the best cardio machine is the one that you're going to keep doing.
So true.
There's no perfect cardio machine. Everyone works with a little different muscle. That's why I like to do a variety. But we truly encourage you to try a few different ones, find which one you like, and stick with it.
If you ever have a question, everyone on our staff is fully trained on every single piece of equipment. So do not be afraid to go ask someone at the window, hey, can you show me how to use this? Because we will be happy to do it for you.